it's possible to do even more complex shape combinations, and that's what we use the Pathfinder tool for. Let's see what that one does. So we've already talked about the Shape Builder tool where you can kind of sculpt with your mouse and kind of cobble things together. Now we're going to use the Pathfinder to do a few more complex things. So what I'm going to do is open up the Pathfinder palette. So I'm going to go to the window menu, select Pathfinder. I'm going to go ahead and set it over here on the side. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can kind of play around with what this does. The Pathfinder, again, is a tool used to combine things. So I need to have more than one shape present to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a square, give it a color, and I'm going to draw another object, another square, and give it a color. What I need to do is position this one over the top of the other. The shape builder is for interactions. Okay, so objects have to be touching or overlapping, really, to look better. I don't need an outline on these, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the stroke. Now you can see I just have here red and orange square. So, like the shape builder, I need to have objects selected first, and then I can do the Pathfinder adjustments on it. And by the way, to be able to do this, I'm going to make a couple copies. So why don't I go ahead and make a few copies of this grouping. So that I can test Shape Builder on them as I go. All right, so I'm going to go back to this one here. The first one, I'm going to grab the first two. Careful not to select other objects. First two objects, the first Pathfinder is this one up here at the top. If I hover my cursor over, it's called Unite. That sounds pretty simple. What is it going to do? Click it. It joins them together into one shape, right? And look, it adopted the color of the top shape. So select these two objects, the second set. I'm going to pick the next one, minus front. Pretty self-explanatory. It's going to cut the orange square out of the red square. Select the next two. Let's go to this one. This one is called Intersect. So what do you think that's going to do? It's going to basically merge the two and keep only where they overlap. Not too bad, right? So this Pathfinder palette is used to help you make these complex interactions that might be difficult to draw. And again, starting with basic building blocks, it's much easier to operate. Okay, let's move on to the next set. We have one more from the top row. I'm going to click these two objects, and this option on Pathfinder is called Exclude. All right, what does Exclude do? Well, Exclude cut the middle out. So instead of merging the two shapes, it cut the middle. And what does that do? That actually makes a donut hole in that object. So if I put that over the gray background, you can see that it cut away that piece. All right, let's move on to the next one. I'm going to select these two, go down here to this one that says divide. Click it. Hey, didn't look like anything happened. Well, it actually did, but in the process of dividing the shapes, it also grouped them. So for me to be able to see what it did, I need to go ahead and ungroup it first. So I'm going to right click, slide down to ungroup. And then I need to deselect, click the empty background, then grab one piece at a time. And you'll see that it cut them wherever they overlapped. So that's what divide does. It actually makes a cut wherever the shapes overlap, separates them into their own distinct shapes. Let's click on this one. Similar to divide, trim basically cuts what's visible on the edges. So again, to show what this did, I need to ungroup it first. So I need to go down here, click on ungroup. Then I can click the empty background and move, and there we go. You can see that it cut and removed the bottom piece from the top piece, but kept them intact so that they can be separate pieces. All right. The next one here is called merge. And actually, for merge to work, I'm going to go ahead and overlap this group and maybe even another one. Make another copy. That's kind of interesting little cluster. Okay, and I'm going to have those, sorry, I should keep those selected. I'm going to have that whole cluster of shapes selected. And if I zoom in a little closer, you can see that there's a whole lot of geometry here where all those shapes are overlapping one another. Well, exclude is kind of like divide and trim in that it merges things that share color. Now, so what? Well, what it does ultimately, especially later on when you draw more complex things, is this simplifies your geometry. So where you have redundant and unnecessary overlapping lines, if you click merge, it cleans it up. So now they are pieces made out of the overlapping shape. And just like divide, if I ungroup it, these pieces are individual pieces. So they are cut out from one another. It's like a little punch. Boom. All right, let's try one more. I'll make this one. I ran out of copies and I ran out of room. I'm going to go ahead and make a copy over here. This one I'm going to work on right now. So next to merge is crop. What does crop sound like it's going to do? Basically, crop is a little bit different than intersect because what it did was it actually cut the shape on the inside boundary of the other shape. Well, what else can that do? Let me draw a couple more shapes to explain crop a little bit better. How about I draw something a little more complex, like a star? And then on top of that star, I'm going to draw a circle. And that circle, I'm going to color blue, just so it's obvious. I'm going to move it over the top a little bit. And then I'm going to select the two. Okay, so I've got the two objects selected. This time I'm going to hit crop and watch what it does to the star. So what it did was it cut out the star inside the boundary of the top shape. So that can be really useful when you're trying to crop something. You have this irregular shape, but you need to trim off the edges. Crop does a good job of doing that by joining the two shapes. All right, let's try another one. Grab these two shapes again, bring them back over here. The next one here is outline. So what did that do? Well, it basically, let me ungroup it. It did something kind of like divide, but it cut those into separate lines. All right, so it may not seem super obvious, but wherever those lines were overlapping, wherever those shapes were overlapping, it cut them apart and made them into separate lines. So instead of making solid shapes, it made solid outlines out of those overlapping objects. All right, one more here, which is minus back, which is very similar to minus front. It's just the opposite. So go back up here to the top, draw two shapes, swap it so that one color, this time we'll color that one red. Select those two, and now what do you think it's going to do? Minus the back. So it cut the shape out of, cut the bottom shape out of the top shape. Basically the opposite of minus front. So those are those Pathfinder modifications. They come in really handy when you're doing more complex artwork, when you're trying to make logos or do something like that. Speaking of logos, how about we try that? Over here on the side, I'm going to move over, give myself a little space. I'm going to go ahead and draw a square. This time around, let's say I want a letter to be cut out of this shape. So if I click on the type tool, what you want to do is we're just going to type a letter A. What I don't want you to do is make a text box. I haven't talked about that yet, but to add a letter on the page, all you need to do is just tap. That puts a word on the page, puts in placeholder text, lorem ipsum. While it's highlighted, I can just type A. It's really tiny, so I need to make it bigger. I can switch to my selection tool, and I can shift it, scale it up real big. Now that letter is a little bit thin for a bold logo, so maybe I can look for a bold, there we go, a more bold font. And if I want to cut this letter out of this logo square, actually to be fancy, let's do this too. I'm going to go ahead and grab that red square, and I'm going to use my mouse and pull the corner, hold shift, and turn it until it's a diamond shape. Fancy. All right, now I'm going to click on the letter A, and I'm going to color it white. And then I'm going to continue to scale it. I'm going to use my selection tool, and I'm going to scale it up so that it is bigger than the diamond shape underneath. Okay, so if I put this shape that I just drew, just to show you, if I put this over a white page on my document, you can see that, oh, well, it looks like the A disappears, right? But in reality, the geometry is still a letter A on top of that diamond. What if I really need to punch it out? Okay, well, let's try this. I'm going to select the two objects, and the one that I would select over here is minus front. Click minus front. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Why didn't it cut the letter A shape out of the red shape underneath? Well, because you can't cut letters out of shapes. Letters aren't objects. They're editable objects. So what I need to do first, before I can do anything, is I need to convert that letter A into an object that can interact with the diamond shape underneath. So what do? I select that letter, and I go up to the type menu, and I look for Create Outlines. Create Outlines converts the letter into a shape. It can also be found on the Properties dialog box. If I have that Properties dialog box selected, down here at the very, very bottom, you'll find Create Outlines there too. Does the same thing. So Object, Create Outlines. I'm sorry, Type, Create Outlines. Boom. Now that letter is a shape. Select the diamond, the white letter together, hit minus front. Kablam, cut out the letter from the diamond shape. So now I've got a logo that has that silhouette of a shape inside it. Pretty cool.